Hello, this is Julie. Welcome to this week's EdTech tutorial. Today's tutorial will focus on Google Slides and using a few of the features that I showcased in my blog post from earlier this week. A link to the blog post can be found in the description box for this video. One of the tips that I gave yesterday was using pre-created free templates that are available online. I gave two resources. One was Slides Go, the place that you're seeing on the screen right now, and Canva. Slides Go has excellent free templates, and I'm going to be showing you a few things that I didn't include in the blog post about how best to work with Slides Go templates. So what I decided to do was to choose a template that went with a lesson that I already had created. So I have a lesson where my students are watching a TED Talk, and I want them to stop and respond as they're watching that TED Talk. So I'm going to take part of this lesson and pull it back into a Google Slides presentation, and I'm going to use one of the Slides Go templates to do that. So I found a Slides Go template that I liked in the science section of education. So there were science lessons, and I found this mental health thesis one, and I liked it because it went with the conversation, the topic that we were going to be having in the TED Talk that I'm going to be watching with my students. So in order to use this, I clicked on the link and I paged through the different slides, and the one thing that I was looking for was a slide that had a place to put a video. Slides Go is really good about making a slide format that allows you to drop in a video fairly easily and make it look good. So this type of template was what I was looking for. So then I downloaded the Google Slides theme and I added it to my Google Drive. When you do that, when you click here, it gives you a button to copy and you make a copy. What I have learned when using Slides Go is that it is best to leave that copy as it is and then make a copy of your copy, and that new one becomes the one that you work with. So I went here to File, Make a Copy of the entire presentation, and then I renamed it, and I have it right here. So I took that presentation and I adjusted it to match my lesson. So I went through and added a page for essential questions and objectives, a table of contents, which we're going to talk about in a minute, some review, some direct instruction, and then I have a place where I can put the videos in. One of the reasons I recommend you do this is because you're not going to want to use all of these slides in your presentation. So there are 42 slides in the presentation that I copied from the Slides Go website, but I don't want to use them all, and sometimes it can be really difficult when you're editing to keep track of all of those. So what this allows you to do then is to delete all the ones you know you're not going to need or you think you're not going to need right up front, and then still have them available to yourself in this one. If I had only modified this one that I originally copied, then any slide that I deleted I would no longer have access to, and I would have to download this again to get those back. So I find this is the best way to do it. Plus I can also reuse this template for something else later on by making another copy of it. So one of the things that I would like to show you is a little quirk that sometimes makes Slides Go presentations a little bit temperamental, and that is when they have images like these. So this is a slide about the process that I'm going to have my students do while they're watching the videos. And if I click here, let's say I don't like this little brain that's on this book. I want something different. I want something that has to do with the video. So if I click on this and I delete it, I lose all of those graphics. Maybe all I really want to do is lose the little picture of the book and the brain. So what you do instead is you right click and you go to ungroup like this, and then you click away from it, and now each of these pieces is separate from the others. So sometimes you also have to ungroup more than one piece to make that work. So this one, those two pieces are moving together, but they weren't necessarily that way originally. So what I can do is ungroup again, and now each of these pieces are separate. So now I've deleted that and I'm going to replace it with a different image. I'm going to scroll to the bottom of the presentation and look and choose one of the icons in that section. And since I'm talking about a process, I'm going to be looking for one that has to do with video. So I found this one right here that's just a little picture of a video screen, and I'm going to copy this and then go back up to my page where I'd like to put it, and I'm going to paste. So right click, paste, or Command Control V. And now I want to resize it. To resize it and keep it symmetrical, I can hold down my Shift key as I'm making it bigger, and it's going to prevent it from stretching or warping. So again, I'm holding down my Shift key, and that's keeping it in its proper shape. Now, I don't really like the color of this. The book and the brain that were here before, they were very white, and I prefer that look. I think it matches better. So I can go up to this little paint can here, and it shows me the fill color, and now I'm going to fill it with white, and now it looks a little bit better. So then the next thing that I'd like to show you is how to take the table of contents and hyperlink it to different parts of your lesson. So if you'll notice, I have 4 sections of my lesson. So I can take this text and I can hyperlink it. So if I right click link, I can click here on slides in this presentation, and I can click here to go to that part of the lesson. I can do the same thing with this one. So once these hyperlinks are set up, my students can click on them and it will take them directly to that part of the lesson. Right click, link, slides in this presentation, and then apply. So I can continue doing that for these others. Now I've also decided that I want to add a little home button to each page so that students can return to this page if they want to. And so what I've done is I've found another one of those icons from these pages here at the bottom that looks like a little house, and I've left directions for students to click on that house on any page in order to come back to this picture, to this slide in the presentation. I changed the fill color to orange so that it is accessible, and then I linked it, just as I did with these two, back to this slide. So now, because the link is already there, I'm going to go ahead and copy it to the other slides in my lesson. So I'm going to go ahead and copy it to this page, and then I'm going to move it down here in the bottom corner. Now I'm going to copy this one because it's in the right place, and I'm going to drop it onto this slide, and then this slide, and then this slide, and continue on through my presentation so that I always have this home button in the bottom left corner, and then anytime students click on it, it will jump them back to that table of contents page. Okay, so the last thing that I'd like to show you is how to adjust the features for your videos. So what I did was there was a picture here originally. If I look at the original one, you can see how it looked. There was a picture already in there here, and so I just deleted the picture and then I put my video right over the top of it. So if I go back to my lesson, I inserted this video by going to Insert, Video, by URL, and I found it on YouTube, and I copied this. So right click, copy, and then I went back to my presentation and I put by URL and I pasted it here, and then I hit select and it drops it into my video. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this one. And then I can put the video here over my little picture of the TV screen, and now it's in place and it's ready for my students to use. So when I click on the video, I have a few options over here. One of the great things about Google Slides is that you can stop and start videos in specific places. So with this one, I chose to have my video stop at 2 minutes and 46 seconds. So I'm going to want this one to begin at 2 minutes and 46 seconds. And let's say that I want it to end at 5 minutes. So that means that as my students are watching the video, it will stop right at that moment at 5 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and hit present. You won't be able to see the entire video, but I want you to see what it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and hit present. You're only able to see a part of my screen here.
This may
but you'll see
surprise
that
you,
it
but it
started
turns out
here,
there
and I'm
is
going to
actually
jump
some scientific
to
research on this question.
5 minutes. And I'm going to go ahead and hit play. And when it gets to 5 minutes, it's going to stop. I've turned off the sound, but so now it's stopped. So it doesn't mean that students can't jump ahead. They actually can. They can click back here and they can watch more, but it will stop for them, or it'll stop for you if you're presenting this in front of a class. So that makes it really nice to be able to do that for your students so they know exactly what it is that they're supposed to be watching in this time. And you'll see here that I have embedded places for my students to stop and respond to what the speaker has said in this part of the video. So that's it for today's EdTech tutorial. There are a lot of other great features with Google Slides that I'll be highlighting in future videos. If not this spring, then perhaps next fall. But I hope that you can make the most out of Google Slides. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Have a great day.